Welcome to Digital Scale Modelling. This is part 9 of the Hachette HMS hood, scale 1 to 200. In the last part I put some decking on and some decking furniture. In this part I'm going to be concentrating a little bit more on the decking, particularly the hoses that are attached to the side walls. So let's jump into this. So on part 69, there's a couple of components to do. First of all, we've got some more deck furniture to go on, and that's the little metal parts that I'm pointing out. They've all had a single coat of grey, apart from that one there. That's in black. Why it's black, I don't know, but that's what it's calling for. Now, it's also calling for two parts from a previous issue, issue 40 and 42. Somehow I've managed to lose those parts. I don't know what's happened to them, but after 10 years, I'm not surprised they've disappeared. So I'm going to have to scratch build those parts. However, it's only for hoses, so it's not a great problem. This is a piece of string here that I use for ship riggings. Now the instructions there is I supplied you with the string. I probably still have this string in my rigging drawer. I've just mixed it up with my other rigging stuff, but that's basic what they're calling for. And I need a rod to go in the centre of it to coil this string around. So first of all, what I'm doing is I'm taking a cocktail stick, and I'm going to be using that as my centre rod. But then I thought, instead of using string, I'll use wire, because one, it's easier to coil round, and two, it's already black, and I would imagine the hoses are either going to be black or grey. I'll keep them black. I thought it would look better than string. So it was an easy solution really. So all I'm doing here is I'm coating the cocktail stick with a little bit of super glue, being careful not to glue my fingers to it, and then just winding it around, keeping it tight. Now, when I'm doing this, I started the wind before the super glue, so that I've still got something to hold on to, and then at the end I'll go back and super glue this. But as you can see, I'm just winding it around very tightly, all the way down to the cocktail stick. I did think about taking the wire out and just using the plastic sheath for this, but that really would have been a silly idea, because, as I said, the wire helps it coil anyway, and I believe I would have had great difficulty coiling this properly with the string or rope, whatever you want to call it really. At least this way, once it goes around, it stays in position, and it is very, very easy to do. So once I got to the end, it's just another little smear of super glue right at the end, and then I'm just folding over the end part, just coiling it back in to hold. Now, if you ever do try this, you can either do it right to the end, or just snip off the excess, the tail end as such, depending on how you want to do it really, and whether you want your hands covered in glue, of course. I have 4 to make up, possibly maybe 5. I'll see how I get on. I'll just hold it to the camera there, so you can possibly make out the actual coils on the stick. Now, as I said, it's a solution that I think is actually better than the path. So moving on to the furniture now, and I'm using Mr. Hobby Metallic Metal Black H28, and this is for the I'm not sure the actual proper technical name for them. It's the 2 little stubs that go, that rope gets wound around them, and these are all black. On ships, generally that I see, they're white, but with this being a Naval World War II ship, I'm not sure whether it should be black or not, but that's the colour it's calling for. So going back to the cocktail stick, and now that one end is dried, I can handle the other end, and I'm just winding it around now and completing the stick, and that was the tail end that I started with. So that's all 5 done now. ready to be assembled onto the ship. And then once they're all dry, it's just a simple case of snipping off the ends. I'm using my sprue cutters here, but you can use a knife or whatever if you ever do try this. And the sprue cutters are better though, because it gives you more of a grip and you can get straight into the hard edge. To fit them, it's a simple case of line them up against the hose bracket that I made up earlier. That was the scratch build thing I made up earlier, and then counting down the rings and to the length that I need. Then a little bit of super glue, and then just simply placing. Obviously, measure before you put your super glue in, because you don't want it to be too long or too short, and you have to recut it, of course. For the next one along, the side of the bracket had actually popped off. So what I've done was I've just super glued it onto the actual hose coil itself first of all, then just married it up to the actual other end of the bracket, held it for a couple of seconds before it was set in place. And now I'm just placing more hose coils on the opposite side. So it's the same process all the way around where I put the brackets. A couple of the side panel of the bracket did pop off like the one I had shown you, but as you can see that was an easy fix. So now it's onto the deck furniture, and again this is a simple process, and just a little bit of super glue to hold them in place. There's not much going on this stage of the build for the deck furniture, and it's easy enough to place these on because the decking has its markings for each piece to go on. So that was a great help, really, placing each one on. As you can see, there's a lot more to go on the decking. You can tell by the markings through it, but we'll get to that eventually. Well, I'm going to bring part 9 to a close. This is a short video. I just thought I'd be better concentrating on the hose and the coils or in this video only. The next one will be a little bit more construction involved. If you haven't done so already, why don't you check out the channel and have a look at the rest of the videos for this build, or of course the other content on the channel. If you subscribe to the channel, you'll be notified of future updates and of course any builds I've got coming up. Hit that like button and of course leave a comment. But for now, thank you all very much for watching. Bye bye.